Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shannon and today I'm going to be talking you through the pros and cons of Invisalign. I got my Invisalign in July and I feel like I have experienced a lot of the pros and cons and I kind of have a fairly good overview of them, and I really wanted to share it with you just so that you can get a fresh perspective in these current times. So yeah, if you have any questions after watching this, just drop them in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Okay, so if you're not really sure on the process, what happens is when you're given your Invisalign, you're not given your entire treatment. So for me, I was given at the beginning 6 sets, which covered 12 weeks. And then when I went back to the dentist, I got the same amount. So your braces are given to you in a little envelope like this. Let me show you. It's not an envelope, it's a sealed bag. It will say Invisalign on it and it will say your sets. At the moment I'm doing 14 sets, and then what I assume is that they'll take another scan and get some more printed to me aligned with my teeth, but I don't know for sure. I haven't quite got there yet. Perhaps I can do a little update video at the end of my treatment, which should be, I think it's almost next July, next August, before Christmas next year for certain. I will no longer have them. So you'll get bags of these anyway, and it's your responsibility to change them in between the time that you're sent home from the dentist and the time that you have to go back again to collect your next sets. A way that I like to manage this, because it gets it's quite a lot of responsibility to remember when to put them in. For me, I have to change them every 2 weeks. This is different for a lot of people. I've heard that some people change their aligners every 10 days and some people once a week. So I use an app called Trayminder and it just helps me keep track. It will give me reminders on the day that I'm supposed to change my aligners, and I can also take pictures and it will kind of tell me where in my journey the photo was taken so that I can look back and see all the photos in one place. I don't have to try and look through my photo album on my phone and find all these random pictures. That's just too much. So I really recommend that for one. But yeah, so you will get these little packs and it's your responsibility to change your teeth as and when. I would say that it's a really easy process. You just need to be responsible to do it. Okay, so you're probably getting Invisalign because they're practically invisible. And you know what? I think they are. Can you tell that I've got them in? Okay. Oh, can you tell that I've got them in? I mean, you can, but you can't see them. There's not a wire. The attachments aren't a colour. Like, do you remember in high school? I'm sure you would have friends who had the wired braces, and you would know they had them and there was nothing wrong with having them, but you knew they were there. And as an adult, that's probably not something that you want. We're always worried that people are going to judge us, so that's probably a reason you're opting for Invisalign. I know that it's why I did. I just wanted to get my teeth straightened without a fuss being made by other people. And you can totally do that, but something that you really need to bear in mind is that you are going to have attachments, and while they're not at the front with like attached to a wire, you're going to have them, and sometimes they're at the front. I mean, mine are all at the front, and I don't want to show you too much of my teeth because I'm not doing a full before and after or anything, but I mean, can you see them? They're these little squares and you're going to have them on your teeth because it helps the retainers move, but I just wanted to bring to your attention that this is something that you're probably going to have because it wasn't really made clear to me when I first got my Invisalign. I thought that it was just going to be these thin 3D printed retainers, and by some magic my teeth would move, but it didn't quite work like that. So I just wanted to bring that to your awareness that it's a pro that it is invisible, but at the same time they're not completely invisible. I think that sometimes the adverts exaggerate a little, but it doesn't bother me, and I don't think it will bother you. Okay, so with your retainers, you're going to have to wear them for 20 to 22 hours a day. And I know that seems really overwhelming, but as I said before, if you download Trayminder, you can actually tap when you have them in and when you don't, and it will prompt you to put them back in to make sure that you're not running over. I would say personally it's not a massive big deal if you've gone over by like 10 minutes a day or something like that. I just don't see it as a big deal, because your teeth are going to move, but it is kind of hard to track, and as I said before, you need to keep accountable for this. I tend to find the biggest issue is when you're eating out. When you're at home, it's absolutely fine. I mean, I've been so lucky to get braces when I did, because I've literally been at home for months. Since I got them, I've been at home. But when you're out in restaurants, or if you're at your friend's house, or if you're in the office, you need to take your toothbrush with you. And most importantly, you need to take your retainer box with you. Even if you're going out with your friend through the McDonald's drive-thru and you're just planning on eating in the car, you need to take your box, because otherwise you're going to end up putting your retainers, your aligners in some tissue down the side of your door, and that's just gross. I've had to do that once, and I tell you, just don't forget your pot. I recommend keeping it with you at all times. I tend to keep it in my bag, or close to my bag, just to make sure I've got it, but I have forgotten it and it's a nightmare. So that's kind of a con, is that you need to be prepared. You need to be quite organised to make sure you've got it, and you've got your toothbrush, because you're going to need to brush your teeth after every single meal and after every single snack, because you don't want to eat something. You don't want to eat that Smartie McFlurry, put your retainer back in and have some chocolate stuck in your teeth, in your retainer. That is not a look that we want to rock. So yeah, make sure you bring your retainer, and make sure you can, even if you can't get to a tap, for example, for a drive-through, I found just bring a bottle of water with you everywhere, and then at least you can rinse them out and you can kind of rinse your mouth out. It's not the most appealing imagery, but it's just something that you need to know because it's real. Alright, so next up, I've actually got, okay, so pain. Do Invisalign. Does Invisalign hurt? And I've got to say no, it doesn't hurt, and that is such a good pro. It doesn't hurt. As I mentioned earlier, high school, I used to look at so many people and they would be complaining about how their retainers hurt, or how their braces hurt so much, and how their gums are bleeding, and all these horror stories where they've had to go private, etc, etc. It's just not like that. It doesn't hurt. The only con I'd say is that when you first get them, I don't know, it just feels so strange, because you've got a new piece of plastic in your mouth that wasn't there before. It's very thin, but in your mouth it feels, to begin with, it feels really big, and I felt like I didn't know where to put my tongue anymore. It felt like, oh, my tongue doesn't fit in my mouth. So that's something to be wary of. I mean, it lasted me probably 3 or 4 days, that really weird feeling, super uncomfortable, but as I moved on to my next steps, it was fine. I've watched a lot of Invisalign videos and they have always warned you about the sharp edges, and I have to say I've not experienced that. It's only been on the first 1 or 2 sets, and I don't think it's even where it was sharp. It was just where it's a piece of, it's a, you know how your gum is flat and it goes straight into your teeth, it's very smooth, because you've now got something there. Your tongue, if your teeth before would kind of go near your teeth, there was nothing there, but now there's something there for your tongue to rub against. So it's just really uncomfortable, and that is honestly the only thing I would say that was a major con. Is at first I didn't know if it was like for me, because it was just horrible feeling. But apart from that, the first few days, then it's honestly fine. You don't notice them. You just obviously have to take them in and out, which is annoying, but you get used to it. Like, it stops becoming a massive burden, because it just becomes part of your normal routine. So it's not massively an issue. But yeah, I actually think that's kind of it. Obviously the other con is that they're really expensive. That's the final con that I've got for you. but you probably know this already if you're already researching and considering getting Invisalign. They're expensive, they're an investment, but they're definitely worth it because they're gonna help you for your entire life. Like, you're not just buying a liability, you're not wasting money, you're putting money into yourself and into your self-confidence and improving, who knows the opportunities that could come because you've boosted your own self-confidence, your self-esteem. So I definitely think it is a worthwhile purchase, but it is really expensive. I mean, the only pro is that a lot of dentists do offer a 0% finance plan, and I would definitely recommend opting for that rather than paying for everything in one hit. If you can, just ask around and try and get some good deals, try and get a free consultation, try and get as much freebies as you can. Yeah, definitely. But that's it really. That's all that I've got for you today. I hope that it was helpful. If you want more information, let me know below and I can reply to you and give you the answers now, or I can compile them and create another video for you. Just let me know and I can definitely sort you out with some more information. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.